So these are my new tires. So I'm about to go take the old tires off my van, rims and tires, and put on the new one. But first I'm going to show you the new tires I bought. These are some Firestone Destination ATs. They are, the guy said they had 1,000 kilometers on them, so they are plenty deep, essentially brand new. I paid $395, so essentially I paid $400, and I'm actually pretty happy. They're 255 70 R17s, which is a 31, and I think they're gonna fit, but I'm not 100% sure. Well, they won't fit. I'll have to do some cutting, but I think they're gonna fit after cutting. Anyways, I'm gonna go to the van and I'll kind of do a little comparison of the two, so I'll see you there. So here's the rear, a little bit of a comparison. You can see it, the size kind of dwarfs the original tires. But the original tires are a 235 55 R17, and the new ones, as I just said, are a 255 70 R17. Sorry, I had to read that one. And the tread, you can see the tread on here is kind of poo comparatively to the all-terrain version of what I just got. But on the rear, I'll do a little, on the rear I'm gonna have to probably do a little bit of trimming slash hammering, but I think not really that much, but I'll show you here. On these little pinch welds here, I might have to cut this or hammer it. Otherwise, I think it'll fit, and hopefully it doesn't hit that, or I'm gonna have issues, and I'll probably have to cut slash hammer here to make it fit. But overall, I think the rears are gonna be easy, but the front is where I'm gonna have a lot more issues. So this front, well, let's put this tire here first. Put my shoe there to hold it into place, but you can sort of see about where it's going to sit, and you can't really see the front. Sorry, my neighbor's loud truck. Anyways, you can't really see the front, so I'm gonna have to trim something like this off the front, and then here, the rear, I'm going to have to, let me move this. I'm going to have to, I'll probably have to take this piece off, this little trim piece, and I'll probably have to do some cutting and banging on this. Like, I'm gonna have to lop the whole end off. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna have to get these tires mounted. So that's sort of my next step. I'm gonna jack this thing up, leave it on jack stands, and then I'm gonna take all these tires to the shop, and hopefully tomorrow I have time to take them to the shop and pick them up, probably Saturday. But anyways, that's my next step. I'm not even gonna bother showing you me jacking up and taking the old tires off, because it is uninteresting, and this video is more about fitting them on, not changing tires. So anyways, next time you see me, I'll be back with new tires mounted on the rims, and we'll go from there. See ya. So here we go. Those are the new tires. Those are the new tires test fit on the van. They look like they're gonna work well. And this is just a test fit, so I'll show you here where they're gonna rub and what I'm going to sort of do to remedy the situation. But I'll show you the rears first. The rears I'm just gonna leave for now. But you can see I might have an issue here at full stuff. Like, I don't know how much I'm gonna stuff, and same with right here. But honestly, for now, I'm just gonna sort of leave the rear. I work on the front because I know the front's gonna be an issue, because I have my clearance here and my clearance there. It looks all right when the wheel's straight, but once I go to turn, this is gonna rub. So this is gonna have to come. I'm gonna take this whole molding piece off and then see what happens. And then this, I'm gonna have to cut something like this off the front bumper cover on both sides to make it fit. And then I think this flap here, I'm gonna cut because I think that's gonna be in the way. So I'm gonna get to it now. I'm gonna put on the time lapse and just start cutting and banging with a hammer and see what kind of progress I make. Okay, so I have chopped the front of the bumper, and it honestly looks kind of mediocre. It's kind of got a weird angle now, I think, to the front. And same with the other side here. It just kind of has a strange angle. I probably should have like cut the angle here. Although I actually don't know if it rubs or doesn't rub, but I think it's gonna clear. And I think it looks a little bit goofy, so I probably should have paid a little more attention, drawn a better line, and actually followed the line. But you can see what I chopped off here. Now I missed my line. Looks about the same from both sides, so anyways, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take the little molding pieces off of the back of the front fender lip. So I'm gonna do that. And okay, so I've trimmed this back side here. I took this piece off, and actually I'll show you this piece. It was absolutely filled with mud and sand and leaves. So this basically sat here, and this liner thing went through this hole and held on with a clip, and then there's another clip down below, which is, I cut that piece off. So in an ideal, it's hard to do with one hand, but in an ideal world, I would like to be able to fit this on and trim a bunch of this stuff up. So I saved this little mounting hole here, and I am about to fire it up. Sorry. I am about to fire it up, but I trimmed both sides. So I'll show you this other side too. Essentially looks the same mud and everything. But I trimmed this back and kind of hammered it. I might have to take the wheel off and hammer further. But anyways, I'm going to start it up, and I'm going to turn the wheel and see what happens. Hold on a minute. Sorry, this is going to be loud. Actually, I'm going to turn this thing off. Okay, so it rubs a fair amount. The front was good, although I didn't really check to see if it rubbed in there. But this back, you can see it is currently touching here. So I think I'm going to get a felt pen and mark a spot along here, and I'm going to see if I can just cut this out, because I believe there was nothing behind here. So I'm going to chop that out, and then I'm going to hammer this back more. And I'm going to start I'm going to clean this thing up and chop it up and see if I could figure out a way to get this on here and for it still not to rub. I'm gonna have to cut it. Essentially, I don't really have much room after this bolt, so I'm gonna kind of cut this thing right at, yeah, as much as possible, but I'm gonna try to cut it like right at this bolt and shave off all this inside thing. Anyway, that's the project for now. So I'm going to come back when I've cut more, hammered more, and they fit better. Okay, so I have made some major cuts, and I feel like I should show you. I haven't done the test fit with the piece. I haven't cut the piece, frankly, like the trim piece, but I did some major cutting, so I'll basically show you what I have done. I've basically cut everything that I could cut. So, if you remember, there's a big piece of metal here, which is now totally cut out. I cut out half this fender liner, and then I banged flat this thing, and then trimmed this essentially as close to, oh, fucker, that's a little sharp. I should probably deburr that or something. But anyway, I hammered this about as short as I could cut it to this hole. So there's not much more that I can trim out. So for reference, this is the side I've cut. Now I'm going to the other side. And this is the other side. So this side I'm going to cut this whole thing out. And then this is plastic. And then basically I cut out everything up until this body. So I just cut that out on the other side. So I'm going to do the same over here. Again, hammer this flat. And then I'm going to go make a trim, those trim pieces, going to cut them up. It does feel like it's starting to rain a little bit. And also I've been ignoring the dog. So I'm just going to trim that up and then go at least hang out with the dog in the backyard and look at those trim pieces and see where I go from there. But anyways, I'll join you again later. Okay, so I said I was gonna trim these up and I was gonna like pack it in because I thought it was gonna rain. It is not raining. Anyways, so I trimmed this down. I basically cut the front off. Now they're in a match. And now, if I could get this, this piece basically fits on right where it used to. And obviously I don't have the bolts in there yet, but you can see how hollowed out that is. So I kind of think I'm just gonna give her, put the tire on, lower back down, and hope it clears. I'm also gonna spray a little bit of paint in, actually honestly I'm just gonna wait. I'm going to put it on the tire, bolt that, fuck. So I'm gonna put it on, lower down, so I'm gonna put it down onto the tires and see what it does, see what it rubs, if it rubs, see if it looks like it might rub under compression, because that's one thing, I haven't compressed anything to see where it touched. I don't expect a lot of travel though, but anyways, I haven't compressed anything. This is just ride height rubbing, and then I'm gonna look at it and go from there. Here we go, test number 2. So as you can see, I have clearance. I have very little clearance, but I kind of think I'm gonna be all right. I am gonna get the grinder out and go grind a little bit more off, and then I'm just gonna I'm just gonna grind a little more off, and then I'm kind of just gonna leave it until I can go, I guess, do some 4x4ing and flex it and see if I rub at that time, and then deal with it then. And in the front, I'm honestly not concerned about it at all. I have that clearance plenty good, in my opinion, I think. Oh. Yeah, so I'm not really worried. I'm kind of looking at this now, and I'm a little bit concerned. I think I might hit that with a hammer, just so this isn't sharp if it does contact. But yeah, I'm just going to grind that down a little bit more, throw some paint on it, and then see what happens.